It's time to go live. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. Look at that. It is 9 a.m. on Friday, May 23rd, 2025. That is 52325. 52325. 52325. The same forward and backwards. Same as yesterday, same as tomorrow. That is fun. Welcome, welcome. If you're new to the stream, feeling a little out of sorts because I was getting ready for the stream today and I got a knock on the door, and the guy who helps me out with the trees in my backyard came a knocking, and I had to scramble out and point him to some of the work I needed to get done. So I'm a little out of sorts, a little rushing to be prepared. But here we are. My name is Keith. I have been a professional developer for over 30 years, and I've been doing this stream since the beginning of the year with the goal of being a place to kind of hang out while you're getting out job applications. A lot of people in tech were laid off in the last year, in the last 6 months. They're out looking for a job. Maybe they're graduating from high school or college, and they're out looking for work in the tech industry. And they just want somebody to kind of hang out with while they get those job applications out. That was the goal of this stream. And I stream Monday through Friday on LinkedIn, on Twitch, and on YouTube. And I do that at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, broadcasting from Austin, Texas. Beautiful day in Austin, Texas. My backyard's filled with mosquitoes. I got some standing water near my house that I can't do anything about, and it is mosquito season. Mosquito season. All right. We do two things on the stream. We look at job numbers and trends within those job numbers, and then we look at news that may or may not affect what goes on in the tech industry. Let's see. Let's look at those job numbers. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn if you have not. And if you have any questions about working in tech, about getting a job, you want to share your LinkedIn with me so I can kind of give it a look and give you some feedback, I'm happy to do that. Drop that in the chat, and I'm happy to take a break from our regularly scheduled program to respond to any and most all requests. So what we're looking at here is three graphs. One, the last 7 days, the last 6 months, and the last year. You can see that there is just a hint of an upward trend in the last 7 days. But as we zoom out and look at the last 6 months, that's really just coming back from a low point that we hit when those tariffs really kind of took hold in the last couple of weeks. And then if we look back a full year, we see a year ago this time, the number of job postings being put out there every day was kind of right on the average, and we are below that now. Not a ton, but maybe 15% below where we were a year ago. But if we were to go back 2 years, we'd see that last year was also a low year in terms of job postings. So we want to see that stuff turn around. We want to see some more stability in the marketplace so that companies feel comfortable going out there and hiring more people, working towards growth, not just cutting costs. And we are not there yet right now. We got a ways to go, but if you see anything on this graph, it means that there are new jobs being posted every day. And that is true. So we're going to hustle. We're going to focus on getting those jobs. That's what we're going to do. Okay, we want to hit the news. I go to the LinkedIn news feed during the stream to look at the news. They've got a really nice news feed that's updated regularly. This was updated last 18 months ago. Job confidence keeps dropping. Americans are about as pessimistic in their ability to find work as they were during the height of the pandemic. Among active job seekers in the United States, confidence in landing, keeping a job is at plus 10 on a scale of minus 100 to plus 100, according to LinkedIn's latest workforce confidence study. In April of 2020, that score was a plus 9. Economic uncertainty has been impacting confidence this year, which has tumbled 10 points since January. Yeah, depending on where in January, there was a lot of optimism going into January in the first week, but sorry. Yeah, hiring is slowing, and job seekers are feeling it. More people into the marketplace. Again, a lot of people graduating from college right now. I've got a son graduating from high school in a week. My daughter is about a year away from graduating from college. So 'tis the season for a bunch of people out looking for internships, looking for jobs, added to an already kind of crowded marketplace from people being laid off, both within the government and outside of it. Yawn, yawn, yawn. Anthropic rolls out new AI models. This dropped yesterday, calling the world's best coding model. Claude Opus 4 can work autonomously for 7 hours, the company says, utilizing multiple software tools at once. It's a crucial step closer to AI agents that can handle complex tasks without human supervision. Still, Amazon-backed Anthropic faces stiff competition from other AI firms, including OpenAI, which just announced another blockbuster $6.4 billion deal to acquire Apple legend Johnny Ive's startup. I saw some videos on the Claude 4 Opus yesterday. It looks interesting, but I really do feel like my gut is telling me that things are leveling off. Like all these new announcements are like, oh, it's 2% better. It's 3% better. We're not seeing huge gains in these things anymore. There was a time in the 90s, back when I was kind of starting my career in the early 90s, that every year the computers would just be faster and faster. And it was just this competition of like, oh, how many megahertz does this new computer's up, twice the speed as the one from 2 years ago. And it was just amazing. Like it was just unlocking all these things. We had 3D games. We had all these video editing that we could do. And it was just shifting everything so quickly. And then about the mid 2010s, mid 2000s, we started, the games just weren't coming as fast anymore. And they stopped talking about like, oh, how many megahertz is this machine? They started making their naming conventions a little more obtuse. So it wasn't just about that number anymore. And it was more about like what you could do with it. They sort of changed their shift on their focus because it just wasn't as strong a selling point. And that's the way technology tends to go. And I have a feeling that's kind of where this stuff is going. I mean, they're trying to make this agentic stuff work. And I've been utilizing some of that stuff, and I'm definitely seeing benefits to it. But this idea that you could say, hey, go do a thing, and then 7 hours later, you see what it did. I don't, and I don't think anybody should have that kind of confidence. Just because you can run a thing for 7 hours doesn't mean you should. And it's all part of the process, of course. But like that is an important step, but a lot of hype, a lot of hype. I have not seen any details about what it did for 7 hours and whether, that was a good idea or not. I don't know. I am dubious. I use AI for coding just about every day, 5 days a week for sure, 6 days a week most weeks. I am not anti AI in coding at all. I have embraced it. I am there. I'm going to start a project. I got a 4-day weekend coming up, basically. So I'm going to start a project, and I'm going to make some big progress, a lot more progress than I would have 2 years ago because I have AI by my side. But don't believe the hype. There we go. There we go. Disney and YouTube clash over key executive. YouTube hired Disney executive Justin Connolly to serve as a newly created role of global head of media and sports, underscoring the platform's push into mainstream programming. But Disney is suing to stop the move, alleging that there was a breach of contract. Connolly had a 20-year tenure at Disney ESPN. If he joins YouTube, he will be tasked with deepening the traditional entertainment ties, overseeing its relationship with major media companies, as well as live sports. I am not a sports guy. I've never been a sports guy in terms of watching sports. When I was a kid, I played Little League, and I grew up in a baseball town. So, like, I went to games when I was a kid. But for me to sit down and watch a sports game is just death to me. Don't care what the sport is. Having said that, I probably spent 30 minutes last night watching clips of different sports on YouTube. Like, I want the condensed thing. I want the drama. I want it all edited down for me. And I'll watch it, and I'll have a great time doing that. Sports movies? Love sports movies. But I can't tell you hardly any player names. I don't have a team that I root for. I don't gamble. No interest in it whatsoever. But, I like me some sports clips on YouTube. So there's definitely an audience there. They probably see that. That people like myself, who mainly look at, tech content, are also sneaking off to watch a little sports stuff here and there. So we'll see. But if they get into live sports, not getting my attention. Not getting my attention. Don't care for it. Never cared for it. You sports person? If I were to think about all my friends, my close friends, my friends for years, none of them are sports people. Yeah, not a one. There's probably 5 or 6 people that I've been friends with for 30 plus years that I talk to every week at least, if not chat with daily. They're not sports people. It's just not my tribe. Don't care about it. Not my thing. Let's see. What do we got? OpenAI staff previews a new device. After announcing OpenAI's acquisition of I/O, Chief Executive Sam Altman offered staffers a sneak peek at the hardware he's developing with Johnny Ive in a recording reviewed by the Wall Street Journal. I was like, man, I didn't see this yesterday. Altman said the deal could add $1 trillion in value to OpenAI, noting the company expects to ship 100 million so-called AI companions that promise to be pocket-sized, screen-free, and equipped for full awareness of the user's surroundings. The device won't be glasses, Altman said, noting Ive was skeptical of wearable technology. It's one thing to say it's not glasses. It's another thing to say it's wearable, but not glasses. Because again, that just looks like the Humane pin or the rabbit or those huge flameouts that happened in the last 18 months. Again, be it'd be dumb to bet against Johnny Ive, but I'm having a hard time imagining what a wearable that's not glasses, that doesn't have a screen. I mean, it have to be earpieces, right? Have to be an earpiece. But I already got enough voices in my head. I don't need an AI companion with pass through. Interesting. What do you think? What do you think it is? I mean, it's got to be an earpiece. If it's not got a screen, it's got to be an earpiece. But is it an earpiece with a camera? It's got to be an earpiece with a camera, right? Like some nerdy earpiece. I can see, like, if they were headphones that also had built-in fisheye lenses so that it could essentially see 360 surrounding, that could be interesting. I don't know, man. I don't know. They wouldn't. Yeah, all speculative. All speculative. $100 million. Yeah, maybe they're AirPods, AI earpods. AirPods, AIR pods, AirPods. Interesting. I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell. Trump mulls over tariffs on EU. President Donald Trump threatened to impose a 50% tariff on goods from the EU beginning June 1st as trade negotiations between the United States and EU appear to be in an impasse. In a social media post Friday, the president said that discussions with the bloc are going nowhere, quote unquote. The president also expressed his displeasure with Apple and its plans to shift manufacturing from China to India early Friday, saying the company could face tariffs of at least 25% if it does not start making iPhones domestically. I don't know why he's on this. 50% levy on European Union would more than double the 20% reciprocal tariffs the administration briefly imposed in April. Experts say that iPhones entirely in the United States is nearly impossible in the short run. Yeah. I mean, there's just no way around it. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And he's got to get past this. He's got to get past this. If we want hiring to go back, if we want stability in the markets, we got to move on from these tariffs. It was an experiment. Let's move on to the next thing, shall we? Apple ramps up smart glasses race. Apple plans to launch smart glasses by the end of 2026. Bloomberg reports, citing anonymous sources. The AI-powered specs will include cameras, speakers, and microphone to track users' movements and may have the ability to sync with Siri to execute tasks, including turn-by-turn directions, live translations. Apple is hoping to expand its market share of AI devices, an area where it faces increased competition from Meta and Google. The tech giant is also working on augmented reality glasses. Apple is hoping to expand its market share of AI-driven devices. They can't even get Siri to work. What's going on there? And 2026, at the end of 2026, that seems suspiciously like 2027 to me. It's wrong to wish on space hardware, sang Billy Bragg in New England. Yeah. Yeah, it's nonsense. Don't care. Duolingo CEO walks back AI memo after making headlines with a memo to staff emphasizing the company's AI first approach. Duolingo is now tempering that guidance. I do not see AI as replacing our employees, CEO writes in his latest LinkedIn post just weeks ago. He called for the language course provider to explore artificial intelligence solutions before hiring contractors or adding headcount. Around the same time, the company also stirred backlash with a large AI-powered batch of new courses that users said, are lower quality than previous offerings. Yeah. My day job is to manage a coding school, and we experimented 18 months ago with building curriculum with the AI, and AI has gotten better since then, but there's nothing. The whole goal of an LLM is to produce the most likely response to a request. And the most likely response is the most common response. And the most common response is often the least interesting response. And when it comes to education specifically, you want dynamic, engaging content. You don't want just pablum that is spouted by everybody. We've all been in school where we had a teacher who was just phoning it in, and we had another teacher who was really engaged and focused on, teaching in a way that's going to captivate the audience and inspire them to embrace the stuff they're learning, right? YouTube's already filled with hours, hundreds of millions of hours of that kind of, just the facts man crap that it's not gonna be engaging. So there needs to be a higher bar in education. I'm not saying there's no place for it, but you don't push a button and spit out, a curriculum. You just don't. OPEC Plus malt oil production surge. We talked about this yesterday. They're considering oil production surge in July, citing unnamed delegates. The group could raise the output to 400,000 more barrels a day, 3 times the amount originally planned. It will be the third consecutive production surge, similar to May and June, that has sent oil prices sliding to just about $64 a barrel early Thursday. Final decision on whether to boost production again is expected in June, when OPEC members are set to meet. I'm not seeing it at the pump. I think I paid $2.70 last time I gassed up this last week. That doesn't feel like $64 a barrel. I don't know. What are you guys seeing where you're at? Okay, that's all our LinkedIn stories. Let's see what's going on in the world of Google News. The latest technology news. Oh, I did not have time to watch the whole video for Google I/O, but I watched a couple of recap videos. Even those recap videos were yeah, that's a headline. That is a headline. I watched a couple of the recap videos, and even they were like 30 minutes long. I was fading fast on that stuff. Again, we're getting at this point where these updates are coming out so fast and furious, and everybody's trying to one-up each other with a new press release, that I'm definitely hitting the end of my rope. I just need to kind of focus on my workflow as it is and be productive and not chase the puck, because man, it is just all over the place these days. hard to tell what's hype and what's real. Feels like I need to just kind of check out on all the new stuff for 6 months, and then I could, revisit it and see a significant change. Having said that, that's in the LLM space, that's in the coding space, that's that. But I did see the demos from VO this week, and that new video generation model is stunning. I mean, that's where I feel like all of the advancements are going to come from. I think we're at the top end of where LLMs are going to get us, and you can try and tack on this agentic stuff to make it a little bit more productive, but I don't see that we're going to get a huge leap in that technology. But man, where these video models are going are super impressive. And got a project I started outlining yesterday that needs 3D model, AI 3D models. And I played around with that about 6 months ago, and it wasn't ready. The quality of the models were still pretty crappy. I was able to get a couple of good models out of it, but they were very limited in scope. And but for this new idea, that might be good enough. So I'm playing around with that. I'm not playing around with that. I'm thinking about playing around with that. It's still bouncing around the brain. But these new video models are stunning. I mean, this new model, it's going to be expensive for now. But, I mean, they're bringing it all together. Asking for a thing that not only generates the video, but also augments it with audio and lip-synced voiceover. Man, that is coming a lot faster than anybody saw coming. Yeah, interesting. Okay, we're down to the end of it. Down to the end of it. All right, I'm going to say what I say every Friday. I'm going to give my spiel. If you've been tracking me for weeks and weeks now, it's a broken record, but it's an important message that you need to hear if you're in the job market. Some lessons we need to learn on the regular. I'm finishing just a little side note here. I'm getting close to finishing this audiobook. I've been doing it on my walks. I walk around the neighborhood for about an hour every day. And I'm finished up this audiobook. It's a non-fiction audiobook about marketing. It's really good. It just came out. It's referencing a lot of really contemporary examples, and I've been super impressed by that book. And I'm like, this stuff is too good. That the thing about audiobooks, especially for nonfiction, is if you're in the car when you're listening to it, if you're in the gym, if you're out walking around the neighborhood, it's like you can't take notes, and so much of it is lost. And so I think I need to make some time when I finish it up to like tackle it like 20 minutes at a time, re-listen to the whole book, and just make notes about it. Some things you just gotta listen to and listen to and listen to, and you get it right. So having said that, here we go. It's Friday. Woohoo! We made it through the week. You may be unemployed. You may be laid off. You put out a lot of job applications this week. You deserve a break, don't you? You need a couple of days off. Guess what? It's a 3-day weekend. Yeah, maybe your spouse, maybe your friends, they're going to be off on Monday. Maybe you're making plans. Maybe you're just going to like kick back for the weekend. Like, we get back to it on Tuesday. You deserve it. You worked hard all week getting those job applications out, working on your resume, working on your LinkedIn. You did it. and now you deserve a break. Screw that. You're not that person. You know why? Because you want to get a job. You don't want a job. You need to get a job. You don't need to get a job. You're going to do everything that you can to get a job. What does that mean? That means that you're going to get up tomorrow and you're going to check the job postings and you're going to get more applications out. You're going to do that on Saturday. You're going to do that on Sunday. You're going to do that on Monday. And all those other people that are going to take the weekend off, they're not going to get into that stack. They're going to get right at the bottom of a very large stack, but you're going to be at the top of the stack. So when they start going through on Tuesday, all the job applications that are coming in, you're going to be one of the first ones in the stack. And you're going to be seen. Those people at the bottom stack, they're not going to be seen, right? If you want extraordinary results, you got to put in an extraordinary effort. What does that mean? Getting up on a Saturday morning and spending an hour getting out job applications, is that really a lot to ask? It's not. If you want to get a job, it's not a lot to ask. So you're going to do that. You're going to get up tomorrow. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get up and get my job numbers. I'm not going to stream. I don't stream on the weekends. But again, if you really want that job, if you really want to get to the top of the stack, if you really want to get a response from the stuff that you're sending out, you got to put in the extra effort. And this is what we're talking about. A lot of people laid off. A lot of people just riding their severance package, sitting on unemployment, half-heartedly getting their job applications out. They're not going to be getting jobs. They're not putting in the effort. You're going to put in the extra effort. You're going to get the job, right? I will be back on Monday. I'm not going to take the week off for the holiday off for the stream. My wife will be off that day, but she always sleeps in on those days. So I'm just going to get up early. I'm going to get my job numbers. I'm going to do my stream, and I'll be here for you. But get up tomorrow. Get a caffeinated beverage. The house is quiet. The spouse is still sleeping. Knock that stuff out. Get to the top of the stack of all those job applications. There we go. We did it. Another week in the books. All right. Again, I will be back on Monday. For if you were late to the stream, if you joined in the middle, my name is Keith. I am a professional developer and have been for over 35 years. Currently, I manage a coding school to help people upskill and stay current with their skill set. But I created the stream to help be a pal, be a person to hang out with when you're getting those job applications out. And I broadcast Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time from Austin, Texas on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Twitch. So there we go. Have a great weekend, and we will see you.